And welcome to another episode of the Cloud Quotient in association with Oracle. I'm Shereen, Bhan. The global health crisis has led to a meteoric rise in cloud adoption, infrastructure spending and development. In 2020, the total worth of cloud computing market was estimated at $371 billion. It's projected that the market will grow to $832 billion by 2025. Today, we talk about how the impact and the transformation that the logistic industry has witnessed on account of the adoption of cloud. Now, without a doubt, 2020 was a pivotal year for the logistic industry globally, where the businesses are replacing existing on-premise supply chain software or simply looking to add newer functionalities. Cloud deployment has driven operational excellence in logistics. To recalibrate business continuity and mitigate supply chain risk by analyzing real-time events, cloud delivery models promise faster implementation times, cost effectiveness, and less reliance on internal IT systems, thereby garnering better visibility across the value chain. Some of the key challenges across this sector have been reducing transportation costs and improving supply chain visibility and onboarding new customers to avoid delays. To talk about the challenges and the many opportunities that lie ahead for the logistics industry, I have with me Rampraveen Swaminathan, MD and CEO of Mahindra Logistics, and Shailendra Kumar, Senior Vice President and Regional Managing Director at Oracle. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us here on the program. Thanks very much for your time. Ram, I want to start by asking you, Mahindra Logistics has, of course, been around in this business for over a decade now. And while a lot has changed over the previous decade, COVID and the pandemic has specifically meant a pivotal change, a transformational change for many sectors and many industries. I want to first understand from you, give me a snapshot of where things currently lie for the sector and for Mahindra Logistics specifically in light of the many changes that we've seen.
Sure. So I think, just overall math in the logistics industry in India is probably around $250 billion, and growing obviously I think across the board, our bits and pieces which have been moving and shaking. And if you look at what people look for from logistics, I think it's really four things. It's reliability, flexibility, agility, and risk management, and increasingly sustainability. Before the pandemic, the trend was towards more agility and sustainability, but the pandemic has been, I would say, a significant accelerator in that direction. And I think more and more clients are now looking for better visibility of supply chains, more agility across like global supply chain designs and structures. And obviously at the same time have high demands in terms of reliability, service, time to market. And that concoction, if you may, is obviously creating significant change across the way our sector is operating. For us in Mahindra Logistics, obviously there's been more positive in that as well. There's been opportunities as we work closely with large enterprise clients, and we've obviously seen a significant expansion in our network. We now have more than 500 operating sites, north of 20 million square feet of warehousing. We operate, we operate 16 to 17,000 trucks every month across, different parts of our fleet. And of course, we have a very large growing cross-border supply chain business as well. So I think we've seen kind of a strong movement across the board, across all of them. But obviously customer demands, Shereen, have been growing very significantly, in terms of what they expect. And some of that's what you already covered.
Yes, that's right. As you pointed out, customer demand has picked up with the reopening of the economy specifically and COVID-related restrictions easing. And the hope is that this will continue, but there are, of course, challenges in the form of transportation costs on account of higher fuel prices. But we'll get to that in just a second. I want to understand from you, Ram, before I get Shailendra into the conversation. As far as your business model is concerned, you have, of course, driven growth on the back of being asset light and also by deploying and leveraging technology. I want to understand from you what the big shift has been, especially on the technology front, given the context of what we've gone through the pandemic.
Sure. So I think if you look at our company, it's really a combination or an aggregation of 11 or 12 different service lines. We're not a single service line company. So we offer everything from trucking to last mile delivery, from returns processing, spare parts, storage-based warehousing solutions. And for us, around 3 years ago, we started a digital transformation program, which really focused on three big levers. Using technology to drive more efficiency in our business, using it to drive more scalability in our business model. And lastly, I think to enrich an experience of both customers and our partners as a whole, as we're an asset-light company. And the journey has been really around all of driving elements across each of those. I think it's been one very significant shift which we've had to really invest in, and we're still investing in.
Shailendra, let me pick up on where Ram left off. And as is very clear, technology is coming to the aid of the logistics sector to drive efficiency, to drive customer centricity, and of course, scalability. And I would imagine that while that is not specific to the logistics sector, perhaps the logistics sector has its own challenges, especially in light of COVID and the kind of supply chain disruptions that we saw. I want to understand from you the benefit of leveraging technology to be able to achieve the kind of forecasts and projections that people are making for the logistics sector in India.
So logistics and supply chain leaders would agree that their industry is facing many pressures. The competitive edge comes from the ability to deliver great personalized experiences and unsurpassed convenience. For starters, customers now are demanding real-time, granular visibility for their deliveries. Increasingly, they also want to know that these products have been procured ethically and that the carbon component has been minimized, both in sourcing as well as in transit. Talking about our supply chain management solutions and some of the challenges Shereen you spoke about, we are helping organizations respond quickly to the changing demand, supply, and market conditions. They seamlessly manage sustainable transportation, global trade, and distribution process to maximize perfect order fulfillment, minimize logistics cost, all while adapting to business disruption and changes in the supply chain. They help optimize business performance. What that means is that they help continuously improve forecast accuracy, collaboration, and end-to-end visibility for logistics firms with flexible and resilient supply chain planning, manufacturing, and execution to help drive process efficiency while managing costs. I would also say that they also outperform with intelligence. What this means is they harness customer experience, operational, machine, and product data to predict trends, model scenarios, and plan effectively to help drive faster innovation and help align supply chain execution to outpace change. And finally, they deliver an exceptional customer experience. This is done by helping them exceed customer expectations through perfect orders and service done right the first time with a unified solution for sales, service, and supply chain management. The technology helps them plan, work, and collaborate more effectively with social, mobile, and remote access anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, I would imagine that is going to be one of the big benefits. But Ram, I want to understand from you, since we spoke about disruption and to Shailendra's point that technology and the use of data analytics can at least help providers like yourself, service providers like yourself, understand where things stand and perhaps forecast and plan better. I want to understand from you how challenging has it been, especially through the last 2 years, where every day we've seen unprecedented events unfold. Can you take me through anecdotally how you've used technology to be able to just plan things better and have the ability to forecast ahead?
Sure. So I think let's just, at a base level, I think the first thing which I think all our customers want is reliability and efficiency, Shereen. And it's been a challenging environment there. I mean, obviously with a lot of disruption and volatility, being able to trace packages, being able to ensure that they are being delivered with the right amount of service quality metrics is absolutely critical. We deliver nearly 40 lakh packages a year, right? 40 lakh packages a month, right? And an equal number of probably vehicles and other, products. So it's driving that level of volume with a high level of service quality has been a challenge, and technology has been far more important kind of behind the face of it. And customer experiences are important, but I think from a service quality and cost to serve, your tech has really been game changing in many ways.
Since you spoke about this digital transformation journey that you undertook 3 years ago, Ram, and you said that you're somewhere in the middle point of that. And you talked about how the use of technology, you've been able to drive cost efficiencies, you've been able to improve your asset utilization as well, and of course improve your customer centricity. You called it game-changing, Ram. Can you give me some ballpark idea in terms of what it actually meant in terms of turnaround times, in terms of onboarding customers, just, some numbers to understand the scale and depth of this?
Sure. So I think first of all, I think we just look at a macro level, Shereen. I mean, we've had probably 95% customer retention, which is like really critical in our business. We are an enterprise business, so your Shailendra would know that the clients are very large tickets, so you kind of win and lose on the churn, right? And we kind of managed to keep that in play. I think what's really changed for us, clearly for one, I think our customer onboarding time has probably come down by half. Right, and really, we look at our business. We don't just onboard a customer in many cases only for one service. We're onboarding them for multiple services, and clients increasingly expect that if they're already onboarded for one service, we should actually make it seamless for them across the board, right? And make it really fast and rapid. And so I think across multiple service lines, I think our onboarding times have come down, I would say, by between 30 to 50% based on which service line or client kind of profile you're looking at. Obviously, retailish customers still take more time to onboard. I think the other thing which has happened is just our ability to ensure high turnaround times. We still maintain 90%, 95% kind of delivery performance, right? And that's very important. We are a contracted service business. So we contract services with penalty clauses and so on. And again, our ability to use technology to manage routes well, to optimize the routes appropriately, to manage we look back and it seems simple, but there was a time when every city was declaring burns or shutdowns almost on a daily basis. That's where it's been really powerful for us.
Let me address what Ram just brought up, and I want to understand from you. Clearly, use of technology has addressed many of the pain points, many of the friction areas. Ram talked about transport management, warehouse management, and so on and so forth. What will be the future drivers as you look at the industry and where it's poised today, the formalization that's taken place? Of course, it continues to be fragmented to a large extent, and also collaborating with service providers who also have their own in-house IT solutions and bring somebody like you on board. How challenging is that to create collaboration and integration?
So, in fact, you'll be surprised to know that in a recent study which Oracle had conducted, 70% of the supply chain professionals said that they see cloud solutions as a game changer. Exactly the same thing what Ram alluded to, which is going to have and is already having a reasonable impact on growth. They also felt that the investments in logistics technology will increase or remain the same over the next 12 months. This shift is based on logical reasons driven by operational goals and challenges and the limitations of existing on-prem and manual solutions. Logistics providers want to lower costs and improve efficiencies, and I think we can all agree on that. Most see themselves in the center of technology adoption curve, willing to deploy solutions only after innovators and early adopters have seen the proven benefits. But as customer satisfaction and logistics execution pressures mount, and as the legacy systems increasingly hold key supply chain processes back, more organizations will want to switch over to the cloud-based logistics solution. I would say supply chain professionals face similar challenges the world over. I would say, and these challenges include customer service, cost control, visibility, and data analysis, issues which they often find too time-consuming and costly to address with manual solutions. Imagine the value cloud is able to offer to supply chain professionals, logistics organization, if it enables them to plan all their transportation requirements in one place. That is, all supply chain flows, all modes of transportation, and all geographic areas. Not just this, it can also plan fleet and external service provider resources all at one place. And as a result, logistics experts can support the nuances of a global logistics operation while reaping the benefit and efficiencies provided by a single transport management solution.
Yes, that's right. And Ram, that's what I would like you to address now for us. You said that you are at the midpoint of the digital transformation journey. Now, in light of the experience that you've had, more importantly, with the idea of further scale and growth, what kind of investments are we talking about? You now see yourself as a cloud-first organization as well. So, what next now as far as the digital transformation journey is concerned?
What I think you would see over the last 2.5 years by accelerating is clearly the way we buy and the way we make and sell products has changed in many ways fundamentally. Logistics is really the kind of butter which holds it all together, right? So logistics is also changing. I think we're going to see a world which is more multimodal, which is going to be more focused on micro fulfillment, which is going to continue to see significant challenges on cross-border movement. Right, and it's going to be very driven by the need for greater agility and risk management than we have seen in the past. Historically, you kind of fix your business model and your value chain, and then you try to optimize your logistics costs within that. I think now it's like we kind of use this phrase in our companies, move from cost to serve to cost to win. I think using analytics and using technology to basically build and simulate how your supply chain will work and drive insight and decision making, I think, is what most of our customers really want us to get a lot better at, and that's what we'll have to focus on as well. And the last one is customer centricity. I think customers are looking for increased visualization. They want to see the entire network. We are a very partner-led company. We don't really try to invent something which we think others can do better than us.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask the partner then that question. Shailendra, what are you going to be investing in since you are clearly the expert in this area, in this domain? And to Ram's point, what can we expect now in terms of further refinement, in terms of the adoption of more technology and solutions to drive optimization, to drive predictability, to drive transparency?
No, there are a few things, and this is a very, very important point. And I'll just pick up from where Ram left, talking about data analytics first, because that's going to be a very, very big game changer. And you all agree that a healthy supply chain delivers value to all our customers and every agent within it. But even the smallest issue can cause disruption with a rebound effect, impacting everything. Just an example, and this is a very, very pertinent example, abnormal weather during transportation can delay part availability, which will in turn push finished things delivery dates for the end users. And successful organizations we have seen don't just assess demand. They actually anticipate what their customers want as well as where demand will be the most. And armed with these predictive insights, a company can remove the element of chance from its innovation and commercialization, planning, manufacturing, logistics, and inventory carrying decisions. Just a few more things. As we go forward, there are emerging technologies that are defining the logistics industries that include Internet of Things. This refers to the connected sensors and devices that automatically share data, making it easier to track shipments and enables logistics providers to identify potential errors. Artificial intelligence, already we are seeing the way it's being used very smartly, enabling more agile and informed supply chain decisions, such as predicting lead times and rerouting transit goods to warehouses. Then it's all about blockchain, which is a record of transparent and controlled transactions stored across the network. And what we see again becoming very popular is the RPA, the robotic process automation part, to automate routine work processes that are being carried out manually, minimizing errors and anomalies.
Well, that's a very comprehensive overview of what we can expect in terms of technology. But Ram, let me get wrap-up comments from you. We've talked about where things currently are, but how confident do you feel about demand? How confident do you feel about growth as far as the sector is concerned? More importantly.
No, I think from a secular perspective, Shereen, growth will be there. I mean, we're going to see bumps up and down, but I don't think it's there's going to be fundamentally detours to growth. I mean, if you have to make in India, you have to move it, right? So I think in that sense, we are I don't think that's going to be a challenge. I think the way value is created is going to be different, and the way your monetized value will change. But fundamentally, I think growth will come back. There will be good and bad quarters up and down.
Oh, absolutely. That should be a big focus area for everybody, data privacy and data protection, even though we may not have a new legislation to ensure that that is the way forward. But Shailendra, let me get wrap-up comments from you as well. As Ram was pointing out, there could be speed breakers in the near term, but if you're making in India, you have to move in India, and if you're making in India for the world, you still have to move from India. So, what's the forecast telling you about where this business and where this sector is headed?
And so we are very upbeat based on the discussions across the various industries. We are very upbeat the way things are looking like and the way things are emerging. And what Ram pointed out, some of the areas that we are very much focused on include security, include data protection, very, very important points. And also the way things have been changing in terms of integration. Integration is a very, very important point for us, and what Ram also said at the outset, with so many different applications, so many different businesses, how do we ensure that we get a single view of all that? So overall, I would say very upbeat. We see things to be very, very exciting, and we are very much geared up to ensure that we create in India for the world and also keep supporting our big users, customers like Ram and his team.
Well, Ram and Shailendra, we wish you both the very best of luck, and thanks so much for joining us to talk about the journey so far, and more importantly, where the logistics sector in India with the aid of technology could be headed in the future. Appreciate your time, and thanks very much for joining us on this CNBC TV18 special. We will take a break here, but there's a lot more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a minute with a lot more.